The movie starts and a night scene is shown. A girl is shown in a house named Tara. Tara comes out of the house with her pet dog named Paul. Then the strange light shines in the sky, and weird noise is heard there for a short time. Tara and her dog were hearing this noise and were seeing the light as well, but couldn't understand anything. What is this happening? Nothing is shown further than what has happened, and the scene cuts here. Two best friends are shown in the next scene, and one of them was named Willie, and they have come to California to attend the Comic Call. Their further plan is to go on a road trip. They move the next day on their van. They decide to go through the rock side. After traveling for a long time, they stop at a restaurant for having food. They argue with two boys as they were behaving rudely toward them. Willie decides to go from there instead of arguing with them. While reversing his car, he mistakenly hits the car of those boys. They leave before the boys appear there. They notice a car coming behind their car at night, which was following them. They think maybe they are the Popel with whom they argue, whose car was hit by them mistakenly. They drive their van speedily from there. Moving forward, they discover they aren't them, and the car suddenly gets into an accident. Willie and his friend move forward while getting off the car for helping them. They notice an alien there, and his friend gets faint seeing the alien. Willie was also getting scared. The alien tells its name, that was Paul, and asks for help from Willie. He was scared of it, but the alien tells him its emotional story. Willie gets a grief for helping it. Later, they go to the van while pick up Willie's friend who fainted. Paul asks him we should go to the north area. The accuse I have to escape from a lady. She is an owner of a company and wants to hold me. After a short time, an agent comes to the accident place for investigation. He actually works for the lady from whom Paul was escaping, and the agent tells the lady that we are near the alien Paul. The scene on the van is shown on another side. Coming to his senses, Willie's friend attacks Paul. And it says, while escaping and predicting that you humans have done predictions on us for many years, and made movies on us, and also did investigations about us. Now if you have seen an alien alive, then what is the shocking thing? As they move forward, they see two police officers, and they were suspicious of them, so they investigates their van. Meanwhile, Paul disappears from there. The police officers couldn't find anything in their van, so they let them go from there. Valet and his friend think maybe Paul has gone. Paul returns after going at a distance and tells I can disappear while stop breathing. Willie likes Paul, but his friend was suspicious about it. He was considering it a danger for him. He doesn't want to trust it so easily. The police officers are shown with the agent, and the owner has given them the task to find Paul. The police officers tells him about Willie and his friend. Hearing this, the agent understands that Paul will be with them, so he moves in search of them. The scene again shifts to Willie, his friend, and Paul. Suddenly, a bird collides with their van while moving forward. The condition of the bird gets worse and it was about to die. Paul revives it while using his powers surprisingly. Willie and his friend become shocked seeing this. Instead of releasing the bird, Paul eats it. They again continue their journey. Willie makes Paul sketch and asks it, can you revive a human as well? Paul says I can, but I didn't try it at any human ever, as it can also react me. I don't want to take any kind of risk, and they get tired after traveling for a long time. They decide to do campaign in a park, and a father with his daughter run this park named Ruth. And we discover an eye of Ruth was damaged, so she wears a different kind of glasses, and the next day, Ruth comes to their van and gets faint seeing Paul. Willie and his friend become worried seeing this, because there will be a problem if Ruth will tell anyone about Paul. So they decide to take Ruth with them. They need Ruth's passport as a security. Paul goes to her home for taking it being vanished. Ruth's father sees Paul there. He runs after Paul for shooting it with a gun, but Paul reaches its van while escaping from him. They leave from there after it, but they drop Paul's sketch there mistakenly. Ruth's father picks it. He calls the police and the agent comes there. A police officer finds Paul's sketch and understands the agent with them is hiding something from them. Ruth's father tells them about his daughter who was missing. They move in search of Ruth, and the van scene is shown when Ruth comes to her senses. She was panicked. Paul shows its history with its power, and there was Paul's past as well, but it wasn't easy to agree Ruth. But Willie tries to make her understand. Willie's friend becomes jealous to see this. Paul makes him understand and they become friends. They make a good bonding here, and Ruth also joins them in their journey. Not because she trusts them, but she was fond of doing adventure. As Ruth comes to the van, Paul heals her eye with its powers. Ruth gets shocked seeing this and happy as well. They become good friends after this. They continue their journey. The agent was also chasing them. Ruth's father also moves in search of his daughter. Ruth says I should call my father at least once. He may get worried and call the police. They reach a restaurant and Ruth goes to call her daughter. The agent talks to Ruth while tracing the call. Ruth disconnects the call without talking. Then Ruth argues with those boys who got into an argument with Willie and his friend. Their car was also hit by Willie and his friend. Ruth comes to Willie and his friend while escaping from them. She comes out while taking them and finds her father there. Getting a chance from the fight, Willie and his friend take Ruth from there. Two boys were also chasing them and Paul reveals itself and makes them faint. So they get a chance to run from there. She tells them the agent has traced our car and they again hit their car while leaving. Paul says we should stay at a place because the agent will be feeling we have run away. Likewise, he will chase us to find us and we'll move from there. They stay at a place for spending a night. The police arrive at the restaurant and take Ruth's father and the others with them. Post police officers reach but couldn't find them and a police officer shows them Paul's sketch. The boys get panicked seeing Paul's sketch. The police officer understands seeing their reaction that Paul really does exist. There is an alien named Paul. It came here and the boys have seen it, that's why they are panicked. On another side, they were spending a good time together. Ruth sleeps while smoking. Paul tells Willie and his friend that the government is behind me. They want my brain because they want to get the healing powers from my brain. This is the reason I want to go from here hurriedly. Paul changes its getup and goes to the comic store with Willie and his friend. Paul and Willie's friend stop there and Willie goes to bring Ruth. The police officer comes to their van for investigation. Ruth's eye was fine so he doesn't recognize her and left. The police officer tells his companion the agent who is with us is actually after an alien. That alien was named Paul. And this is the reason he is not sharing anything and didn't give us details. They also go to the comic shop while talking this. They were Willie's friend and Paul. The police officers become shocked seeing them. They start firing seeing them. Meanwhile, Willie and Ruth reach there with the van, and they take them from there. The police officer tells the agent we have discovered about you. That actually, your mission is to find an alien named Paul. And the police officer scares him while showing him a gun. He takes the address of Paul at gunpoint. Now he has discovered that where Paul is, he was also behind him. Ruth's father was also chasing them, and Paul asks them to hide at a place instead of moving forward. They do the same and Ruth's father and others move forward. Moving forward, they find a firecracker shop, and Willie and his friend take firecrackers from there. Because of having no money, they steal those firecrackers and return to their bus. The agent again traced their location because of robbery. There was the agent behind Paul and the police officers were behind the agent. Paul goes to a lady's home named Tara. Tara is the same girl whom we saw at the start of the movie. At that time, we couldn't see anything. That what has happened that day. What were that light and noise? That day, a spaceship landed on Tara's house and it is the incident about 70 years ago. Tara was a young girl and she has a pet dog named Paul. Later, her dog Paul also died. Now Tara has become an old lady. Tara becomes shocked seeing Paul, because an alien appeared from the spaceship landed on her house. The alien was none other than Paul. But none believed Tara at that time. Everyone made fun of her after hearing her. She didn't have Paul to make everyone believe. Everyone was feeling that this is Tara's assumption. That's why Tara has locked herself in a room. Now Paul has come here to meet her. Tara forgets to turn off the gas during all this. Meanwhile, the police officer and the agent attack there. Paul makes his history weak through its power when he was at the door. Getting a chance, they run toward the truck. And Ruth's father has reached here. The police officer and the agent attack them. There was a huge blast as the police officer shoots at them. Everything gets destroyed due to it. Ruth was feeling maybe her father also died in this blast. She was returning to her father. Seeing that her father is alive and safe, she returns to the bus. Willie remains behind, and a police officer attacks him. Willie's friend asks Ruth to drive and pulls Willie inside. The police officer was chasing them in that agent's car. He also informs the lady who was the company owner that now I will fulfill your mission as I am near it. The police officer stops Ruth's father as he sees him coming there, but he didn't stop. The police officer shoots him. He starts chasing their bus. As he reaches near their bus, he was about to shoot Paul. His car loses its balance and hits the bridge, so he dies there. They cross the bridge. Here, it seems like everything is normal. But then again, the agent comes who was behind them. They reach the place where Paul's spaceship has to come. Paul was waiting for the spaceship to come while giving them signals. The agent was also coming there with his gun for ending him. After it, we discover many lights, and it seems like its spaceship has landed. This wasn't the spaceship but a helicopter, and there was the company owner inside. She has come here to capture Paul, and the agent also reaches there. He doesn't end Paul but was ending the guards of the owner. There was a fire shoots at him with the gun of the company owner and he becomes injured. It reveals that the agent was with Paul and wasn't here to end Paul. And he was with Paul because he got his wife because of Paul. He has done all this to convey Paul here. Here everyone was competing with her to save Paul from her. They were hitting her and Tara makes her faint while hitting her. It was feeling like everything has become fine. Ruth's father was about to shoot Paul while reaching there. But Willie saves Paul but becomes injured. Paul can't see him die like this, so it takes its life's risk and heals him with his healing power. It gets faint and falls down. They get scared. That maybe something has happened to Paul. Suddenly, Paul awakes. They become happy and take a peaceful breath. The company owner also awakes. Before she could do anything, the spaceship lands on her. She dies there due to it. Paul says them goodbye emotionally and takes Tara with them to its planet. Paul was feeling that Tara's life is destroyed because of it. This is the reason it wants to take her with it to its planet. It will give her a new life while going there. Willie tells Ruth that he likes her. The spaceship leaves, and they say goodbye to it. This movie ends here while showing this scene. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel for more videos like this.